What do you think is the most important issue relating to customer loyalty and retention?
The challenge the customers are facing today inside of loyalty programs and clients are facing in keeping people engaged in the loyalty program, it comes down to the amount of personal information or how well they know, how well a brand knows a consumer and how much the consumer knows about the brand. So the challenge today is not about the program configuration. It has nothing to do with what the points are, if you have points, or how many freebies you get. Is how well do you know each other, and how do you use that information to create this intimate relationship? So there is an honest relationship, and the value of the program isn't based on the behavior, but it's based on the understanding that you have about your customer and the customer has about you. So that challenge translates in our organizations honestly setting dollars aside, resources aside, to get to know their customers and continue to know their customers, or are they doing it as a one-time, I'm going to set up and start going? So that's really the challenge today. It's an ongoing effort to stay in relationship with your customers, and quite frankly, and unfortunately, too many of our brands who are in loyalty today are not really doing that. So it's a challenge of resources and will, and sometimes people will call it courage, to stay the course that you really want a relationship with your customers. That's what I see.
What brand would you consider a best practice customer loyalty example, and why?
That is a very difficult question, because if I put my consumer hat on, I have one view. If I put my business and practice leader hat, I have another. But as I've thought about it, in terms of all the brands I could talk about, I look at it, defining the best program comes down to the total experience that someone or brand gives to me as a consumer. So from the moment, even before I came in the door, what was the anticipation about the experience? How was the experience delivered to me? Do they know anything about me? And did it come through? Of course, was the product great? When I think of all of that, frankly, I have to think of Morton's Steakhouse. I mean, Morton's has a program that's running with their VIPs. They spend a lot of time and effort to get to know who their customers are. And they just don't stop there. Then they bring that knowledge into the experience. And if I happen to be, like a certain cut, or if I prefer a certain, wine, that wine's available for me. If I'm a VIP and I can call and I can get a reservation just about any time. I am honestly treated as a VIP. It's not a transactional program, it's a total experiential program. And it's one of the few programs where Morton's has invested enough time and energy to understand me beyond the context of when I show up. It's before I came in, while I was there, and after. And they laced the whole thing together to help their individual restaurants understand the importance and value of their VIP members. That's a really different kind of opportunity for a program than some of the ones we think of today that, in no indifference to credit cards, but their credit cards aren't necessarily offering loyalty programs. They're offering a frequency program. The more I spend, the more I get. Loyalty, the very nature that has to be engendered in what do you know about me, and how do you bring that out to life in a way that I understand that you've done something for me that's special. So the best example I have today is really Morton's Steakhouse.
How will data analytics impact your customer engagement, retention, and loyalty strategies?
It's interesting, at the conference this year, we heard a lot of the new technologies to engage customers. We had some conversations and different exhibits about the ability to capture data and capture the moment in time that a customer interacts with you. We had some people were talking about the program dynamics and what you could offer up. I think the core of loyalty programs moving forward is really based on the ability to have this intimate relationship with your customer. And the way you're going to enable that is you're going to look at the data infrastructure you have, the type of data you collect. So what are you collecting? How are you collecting? When are you collecting? Where are you collecting it from? And we're going to see with the explosion of social and mobile in terms of, from that perspective, we see data is taking on a whole new life. The point here is that the single point of differentiation between the programs we offer today and the programs we should offer tomorrow is going to be based on how much we understand and know about our customers and how we bring that relevancy to the market, the level of intimacy of that relationship you have. You cannot do that without the correct data assets all the way through your business. So it's not going to be about the currency you offer. It's not going to be that I can redeem online. I can go get a catalog through my mobile phone. It isn't going to be about the next trip I take. They are important in the context if it's relevant to me, the customer. The way I know that is I have the data to explain it and model it and design a responsible program that financially works for the company and a program that my customers want. Then I have the right balance.
Which of today's top trends will have the largest impact of the future of customer engagement and loyalty? Mobile, social, local, or whatever else you might think, and why?
We today stand at the crossroads. This is an unprecedented time when consumers overall are inviting us into their lives by the very nature of their behavior. It used to be we could really track behavior in a retail world. It would be the transaction. Then it moved to credit card, which moved beyond proprietary credit cards into the Visa, MasterCards, Amex, and Discover. So now those organizations could track you and understand what you're doing across all of your shopping patterns and behavior. And that was really the holy grail of where do I get my data? Where do I get any kind of behavioral information that's unbiased, that says it's not what you said you're doing, this is what you're doing. The unprecedented point we're into is that social and mobile devices and communication channels have changed fundamentally how we communicate. It changes the relationship we have with our coworkers and our families. It has removed distances in terms of the intimate times that we are sharing with each other. So if you are an avid Facebook user, which we are, and we have family all across the country, this is how we share precious moments. So we are at this unprecedented time that consumers are literally inviting us in to their lives on a personal nature. And the question we have to ask ourselves is, what are we doing with that? We have to be absolutely responsible and ethical in every response, and we are doing that. But how can we use that to the betterment and enrich people's lives? And that really is that's in front of us. That becomes the new holy grail. And the other part that's really fueled this is on the technical side. In the last 10 years, the cost of processing and storing data has dropped to the very floor, to the basement now. So the arguments we used to have about how much data we can collect and how much we can store and what we can do, that they're going away. Cloud-based technologies is changing the ability for data to shake hands with each other and interact at it is a real-time basis now. So that's the unprecedented opportunity for us. That's going to change and is changing loyalty as we know it today. I mean, it's totally, completely redefining the word customer intimacy in a positive light as we move forward.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Excellent. That did it.